folks. Good morning again, and I'm back with another star pattern 3. I hope this is going to be even more easier than previous star patterns, first two star patterns, right? So, guys, only thing that I need to make you guys understand at this point of time is that if somebody gives you, like I have already told you previously, that if somebody tries to give you any form of star pattern just like this, we have already covered the basic idea how we are going to print it, but again I'm going to reiterate it. If somebody gives you, I have told you to only think at that point of time of only two things, right? The first thing is that find the number of rows and column. So this is the pattern that we need to print over here. 1 2 3, 1 2 3, and 4 and 5, right? So this is the pattern that is our requirement or interviewer has asked you, right? So in order to print this, find the number of rows. There are row is 5, right? How many columns are there? 1 2 3 4 5. So there are 5 columns. So the column is also 5. It means that it can be assumed in the form of a square. Virtually build a square in your mind, right, of 5 rows and 5 columns quickly, right? Once we have built it, divide them. Try to divide them in 5 rows. 1 2 3 4 and 5. Try to divide them in 5 columns. 1 2 3. This is all mental work. We are visualizing in our mind. We are not going to do this in front of, while giving interview. You can tell this logic, but and once it is done, you just have to divide it in half, right? Why I'm asking you to divide it in half? Because in order to print this third star pattern, you have to print the second star pattern that we have already and quickly discussed in our previous lecture, right? So in order to do that, guys, 1 2 3 4 5, we did just this is an example of inverted left star pattern, right? This is inverted form, right? So 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 1 2 and 1, right? So in order to print this, you have to print this, right? And I've already told you, since the number of rows and columns are the same, we are not going to touch our base loop. That is I starting from 1, I less than equal to 5, and I plus plus. This is even more simpler, right? So now in order to print this star pattern, first we have to print this pattern in the form of blank. How blank? I'll let you know. And then you have to print this particular pattern over here, right? So what is the requirement of this? And what is the requirement of this star pattern? We have already discussed, right? So first this is required to print, then we will take a for loop over here. After printing that for loop, the requirement is that we have to print this star pattern, that is the third one, which is the main that is requirement, is that on the first row you have to print one, second row you have to print twice, third row you have to print thrice. So it is somewhat similar to the very first star pattern, right? Where requirement was first row one time, second row two times, third row three times. I hope you guys are able to correlate. Everything is correlated. It's just a matter of few digits here and there, right? So the second loop, I have already told you what we are going to do. What we are going to do, take j equals 5, because 5 times we have to print something, right? J is greater than equal to I is 1. So 5 4 3 2 1, right? And then decrement the j minus minus. Then when the value of j will decrease by 1, that is, it will become 4. So and the second time when the loop will run, value of I would have been 2. So 5 4 3 2. This I've already explained, right? So now what should be the third star pattern that we are going to do is that once it is printed, we have to again print this, right? So let's say I am taking k. I have to print one star in one line, right? So k equals 1, and so in order to print it, first k is starting from 1. We have to print it only one time. So k less than equal to I, right? So 1 is less than equal to 1. It will print only one time. And then k plus plus, which means that value of k will now get increased. So 2 is less than equal to 1, it will fail. So second time when the entire loop runs starting from here, when the value of I would be 2. So k is 1, 1 less than 2. Yes, 2 is less than equal to 2, 2 is equal to 2, yes, it will print twice, right? So in the same way we are going to print all these three things, okay? So for that, I'll quickly tell you with the help of this example that star pattern I've already printed, right? a little bit, right? So the next thing that was required is that you have to incorporate one more loop over here. We have to incorporate only one more loop over here, right? So let's say int k equals 1. Why I value starting with k equals 1? Because I have to print only one star on the first row, right? So k equals 1, k less than equal to I, because first time value of I is 1, right? K less than equal to I and k plus plus, and just I have to print something, right? So what I have to print, let's say FOUT, and I have to print the star. Again, I will modify this everything, right? If I print it, see what will happen. Something has got messed up over here, right? Because I used ln, deliberately I used ln so that you're able to understand. See, it has printed me full 5 rows, 5 column, 1 2 3 4 5, and this was, sorry, this was the sixth one, right? Because it it is printing me over here. If you can imagine, half the pattern over here, half of the pattern is being drawn over here. How? I'll quickly show you. I'll just change, or I put the value at like add, and if I print it over here, see, on the half of the area it is printing this, and half of the area it is printing this, right? So since we want blank, we do not want anything to be printed over here, I remove that, and it will be getting printed like this, right? But we want some spaces. We want that spaces should also get printed, because those are the spaces. Again, see, this is space 1 2 3 4 5, it is the spaces over here, right? 1 2 3 4. So this is the kind of stuff, this is the only logic you have to make in, is that do not touch the base loop, and onto the second loop you just have to print a blank single empty space, and then this is the pattern that you know, right? See, this is what was intended to print, and this is what was required, and this is what we have, same thing we have done. So in order to print this, the only thing that you have to do is that you have to print the second star pattern, and then you have to write the same logic of the first star pattern. So again, I'm reiterating, third star pattern, which is this one, is a combination of, the code is the same, base loop will remain the same. For this particular part, you have to print your second star pattern, that is the inverted one, and for this one you have to write the code for first star pattern. So 3 is combination of 2 comma 1, that is second star pattern and first star pattern. See the logic, the code is the same. See, this is the star pattern 1, I equals 1, j less than equal to I, j equals to 1, j plus plus. Same thing goes over here, k less than equal to I, k plus plus, right? The only change is that we have added a loop that is just printing the spaces so that it looks very neat and clean. Again, if I do not print spaces, the logic will get changed. It is giving me the first because the spaces is not there, so it is not printing anything. It is now simply become your first star pattern, right? But if I give the spaces over here, it will become your third star pattern. So the third star pattern is a combination of second star pattern followed by first. See, this is the simplest way by with the help of which I'm able to make you guys understand. Still, if you guys are not able to understand, I'm sure you are understanding. Please let me know onto the comment section. And this is even more easier. So if you just remember the concept of first and second star pattern, that is how to print this first star pattern, how to print second star pattern. The third star pattern is totally combination of 2 comma 1, that is second star pattern and first star pattern, right? It is very easy. It is, you do not need to learn anything over here, right? Just by 2 3 times of practice, it will get stuck onto your mind, right? So guys, I won't be taking any more time. I'll be back with another lecture, so please stay tuned and keep learning and keep practicing. So thank you for your time and thank you for your patience. Again, there are 10 minutes left, so again, good morning, and I hope you guys have a very, very good and great day. Thank you.